So Orlando Pirates making it 3 in a row in the Soweto Derby. They took a 2-1 win over arch rivals Kaizer Chiefs in that DSTV Premiership. Now the Bucks headed into the match on the better note after going undefeated in their last 3 matches. Also the psychological advantage of beating Gavin Hunt's men. It was 2-0 the last time they played in the MTN 8. Thembinkosi Lorch, his name was again in the headlights. He broke the deadlock late on in the first half to give Pirates the lead into the break. The second period nearly saw Chiefs getting back with a missed penalty though, but it wasn't to be for the Glamour Boys, who conceded another shortly afterwards. Daniel Cardoso though restored some hope late in the match when he netted in the last 5 minutes of the game for Amakosi, but in the end it was too little, too late for the Kafeni Glamour Boys. Now to chat to us about this is a former Bafana defender, Matthew Booth. He joins us via Skype, via Zoom rather. Matthew, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to Newzroom Afrika. Good to have you here. Well, the Soweto Derby, always a big talking point. What did you make of this edition of the Soweto Derby?
Yeah, look, Orlando Stadium, very much like the rest of Gauteng, has taken a lot of rain over the last week. So playing conditions was not quite conducive to midfield battles or patterns of nice passing play. And both teams really relying on the more direct route. I just found that in the first half, Chiefs definitely dominated, but their continued mistake was that they played a very high line in the back three. Cardoso dropping today from the midfield back into a back three, and their first goal that they conceded was from exactly that era, where Lorch did very well to latch on to a ball, still had a lot to do, and they continued to play that way throughout the game, which was a little bit concerning.
Absolutely, Matthew. Look, you mentioned the fact that it was a very direct game of football. It made for quite an entertaining clash as a result. Plenty of cards shown, plenty of chances. Samir Nukovic missing a penalty. It really had all the ingredients of a very good Soweto derby.
Yeah, and as a former centre-back, I'm not going to mention the follow-up from Ngazana, who should really have snuck that away, the follow-up. But yeah, I would have loved to have known what the thinking was behind Cardoso not taking it, because he is the regular penalty taker. But it's all very well in hindsight saying that generally in a team environment, whoever gets to the ball first and shows confidence enough to take it takes the penalty. And unfortunately for Nukovic, it was him.
Now, from the start of the season, looking at these two teams, a very contrasting start to the season, but of late, not really much difference between the two sides. What do you make of where they are at the present moment, Orlando Pirates as well as Kaizer Chiefs?
Yeah, well, at the beginning of last season, I bet on Pirates winning the league. I did the same thing at the beginning of this season. I think they still have a squad that is capable of catching up to the likes of Downs and SuperSport and Swallows. I'm very glad to see that Gavin Hunt has finally turned the corner from a very dire situation, and he's gone on a decent run. Three wins in a row, 2 draws. This certainly will bring them back down to earth, but it's just under halfway through the season, and I think that's not such a bad thing.
Now, Pirates have had Kaizer Chiefs' number this entire season. The start of the season, as you mentioned, a very difficult run for Gavin Hunt, hence that 5-0 aggregate loss in the MTN 8. This one, a much closer affair, 2-1. But this game is always a big match between the two giants of Soweto. If you have to look at, in particular, this match, how much difference and how wide is the gap between the two sides?
Not very. I just think that Pirates has got a lot more depth in experience and positional depth as well. You look at the fact, you just have to look at the left back position of Pirates. Maela out, in comes Bongani Sam, who has been doing fantastically well. Unfortunately, got injured during the game, bombing forward, doing a lot of work down that left flank, basically playing as a left winger, not a left back. And when he did get injured, they brought on Marco, who, very similar to Sam, has the ability to do exactly that. And he was responsible for the assist for their second goal, and turned out to be their winning one.
Matthew Booth, thank you so much for your time. It's much appreciated on this Saturday evening. Never an easy thing having to make time on a day like this.